Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Elevate Your Life podcast. We are doing episode number 124 today, Cheryl.
124. And Paul, let me just comment on how ever so European you're looking today with those delightful glasses on. Now, is there a meaning there, or no, you just thought maybe I'll wear some glasses?
Listen, if you're not watching this on YouTube right now, you're missing out. Okay, because I have a couple pairs of glasses to share with the audience today that have really sincerely made a significant difference in my life. And we're going to be talking about a topic today, Cheryl. So, we're Elevate Your Life. So we're elevating everything, out there. And today we're talking about elevate your sleep.
Super important, Paul. Super important.
Some people would argue the most important thing. I mean, this is, I know we follow a gentleman named Brian Johnson, who this is his number one thing. Like, there's like your non-negotiable list that you should have in your life. A lot of the super successful people elevating their lives, they make this the number one non-negotiable. It's not a want, you literally need it.
Yeah, you have to have it. Well, and it's interesting. I had a friend that I was talking to just a little bit ago, and he was telling me that he was really struggling getting enough sleep, and just like for years, he was just like could never get enough sleep. He'd sleep and wake up totally exhausted. So he made a few changes, some health changes and stuff, and has really seen a difference. And he said there's nothing that's ever made a bigger difference in his life than getting his sleep back to a place where he's feeling rested during the day. And I hear that a lot, Paul, right? We hear a lot that, oh, well, gosh, I'm sleeping this many hours, but I'm still tired.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about quantity and quality during this podcast. But Cheryl, I have to share the most fascinating statistic with you that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, I do like it. Go ahead.
So my question to the audience is, what day of the year, every year, do we have the most heart attacks and traffic accidents? So it's the same day every year. And it's not just some extra heart attacks or traffic accidents. It's like 30% higher on this one day every year. So people always say, well, could we do this in a live audience all the time? And people say, well, it's New Year's Day.
Super Bowl, the day after
Super Bowl Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday.
New Year's Day, it's Christmas, something, they pick holidays or whatever. But the correct answer is in the second Sunday in March, when we turn the clocks ahead and lose 1 hour of sleep. Losing 1 hour of sleep causes the whole entire country to have a 30% rise in heart attacks and traffic accidents.
Except Arizona. Arizona doesn't change. And a little place in, I think it's Indiana or something.
Yeah. Well, we're trying to get the whole country not to change. It's the stupidest thing.
We're trying to get back to not changing it. Why are we changing it still?
That's right. It's because it's causing all the car accidents.
Exactly.
Now, to further expand on that statistic, the exact opposite holds true on the second Sunday every year in November. So heart attacks and traffic accidents go down 30% on that day from any other day of the whole year, because people get 1 more hour of sleep.
That is so crazy, Paul. That is like, so it just goes to show you how important sleep is. I mean, that's how important it is. And when you take it away, how detrimental that can be.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got a great, this is, just fascinating to me. And it was hard for me to actually believe it, but I did my research, and lo and behold, this study is done, and it's crazy. But I had something that actually happened to me that was really crazy. This goes back a few years ago, but I went to the DMV on my birthday because I had to renew my license. And the woman at the counter said, it was a Saturday morning, and the woman at the counter said, we'll read line 7. And I started laughing at her. I'm like, no one can read line 7. I mean, if I had a magnifying glass or a pair of binoculars, I couldn't read line 7. So I was like kind of joking with her, but she was dead serious. She's like, sir, you have to give me your license. I can't allow you to drive.
No.
Yeah. So I had a terminal license and call my wife. She has to come pick me up at the DMV because now I'm not allowed to drive anymore. So I have to go see a professional eye doctor thing and figure out what's wrong with my eyes. Like I can't read this at all.
That's called an ophthalmologist, Paul, just so
Ophthalmologist. Thank you, Cheryl.
No worries.
What happened? I go to this appointment. I pass with flying colors. He's like, I don't know anybody that's got better eyesight than you. I've never, out of 30 years of, having patients, I don't need any glasses. I don't need anything. So I'm like, well, I couldn't read line 7 there. And he's like, well, here's the exact same chart. Read line 7 to me. And I read it off like that.
No problem.
No problem. So I go back to the DMV. Now I got a letter from the ophthalmologist saying that Paul's fine. He's got 20/20 vision. And when I'm there handing this piece of paper and I look at line 7, and I could have been at the back wall and still read line 7. But that Saturday morning when I went in, let's just say I didn't have the greatest night of sleep on Friday. Maybe out a little bit too late or so I only got like 4 or 5 hours of sleep that night, which caused me to literally not even be able to see. But I felt, it wasn't like I felt weird or anything like that. I just couldn't read line 7. Like it literally was impossible to do. So it affects so many things that we don't even know about in our daily lives that is affected because we're not sleeping right. I mean, the number one complaint at doctor's offices, we talk about this all the time, is fatigue. Hey, so the number one complaint is people go to the doctor and say, Doc, I'm tired.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is where it starts, is sleep. Are you, if you're not sleeping well, then.
Well, and it's just fascinating to me that there's so many people on different drugs too, to help them sleep. Right. And they think that they need that, then they get addicted, and it's this whole big hamster wheel. But Paul, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. So sleep is essential for peak performance in whatever you're doing.
Absolutely. And like we mentioned at the top of the podcast, that quantity and quality both matter. So Cheryl, I know you're big on the quantity part of this equation.
Hey, listen, I think that 9-10 hours a night is perfect. Like that's how long I'll sleep if I don't set an alarm. I'll sleep for 9 or 10 hours, and it's usually 9 hours, but I just feel wonderful. But ever since I got the Aura Ring, then it kind of tracks everything for me and I can see. And I think that there is a huge difference when I get enough, and I know you're going to go and talk a little bit about this, Paul, but when I get enough of the deep sleep, that's what's very important, I feel like, for me.
Well, my guess, Cheryl, is that sure, there's nights you get 9 or 10 hours of sleep. There's night, and I just texted you the other day saying that I fell asleep at like 8 p.m. and I slept all the way through. So I got like 9.5 hours of sleep.
Right.
So those days are going to come, but the reason why I slept that long and felt great when I woke up is because I was probably in a sleep deficit. I wasn't getting the full 7 hours like I should be. I was getting 6 something and in a sleep deficit. So you can do that. But I think if you slept every day for 10 hours, within a week or two, you'd be like, you just can't do it because.
Oh, no, I wouldn't.
You're not tired.
No, I wouldn't. No, sir. I'm positive I could do it. I would really love it too.
You are a good sleeper, that's for sure.
But that's not the case. I mean, I don't get that much. So, but we do know that with the quantity and quality, first of all, 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night, that's really super important. And Paul, you're all about only having 33% of your life sleeping.
Well, no, I just think that's unacceptable. When I think about a third of my life is going to be sleeping, what you sleep when you die.
Listen. Why don't you
sleep you need later? I got a lot of things to do, Cheryl. I have people's lives to elevate.
Okay, well, why don't you come back in and try to read the thing at the DMV then?
What we're saying is there has to be a balance. Too little,
exactly.
Big problems. Too much, your whole life's gone.
Exactly. Well, let's talk a little bit about, I know we both have the Aura Ring. I really like it, but let's talk a little bit about the 3 different types of sleep, because I didn't really know that much about them until we
Yeah,
started really
there's the
kind of,
Aura Ring. You can, we have a link here to purchase that. There's the Apple Watch you can wear to bed. It does it, and Fitbit, a whole bunch of different things out there. But wear something, because if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So we want to be able to measure what's going on while we're sleeping. And what this ring does in all those apps or devices is that it measures REM sleep, which is the type of sleep that helps our brains recover. So if you're like mentally fatigued, it's because you're not getting enough REM sleep. Then it also measures deep sleep. This is the type of sleep that really rejuvenates your entire body. So this is really where you just, a lot of growth hormone gets released during deep sleep. So that really is the fountain of youth, and really helps you recover so that you wake up the next morning feeling refreshed, as opposed to still being exhausted from the day before.
right.
So, and I follow a bunch of different guys and studies on sleep. And one article that I really, really love, I'll put a link to it in the notes here. Again, the notes are at elevateyourlife.com. So you can look at these, because we're going to be giving a lot of links and tips away during this podcast today. But the whole key to seeing where you're at with these numbers and getting the feedback you need to see where your REM's really at, where your deep's really at. And so the study I'm referring to, it says you should sleep 6.5 hours a night. That was the number that came up with. And 2 should come from REM, 2 should come from deep, and 2.5 should come from light sleep. So it's kind of like a cycle that your body goes through throughout the night between REM, deep, and light. So I got a little screenshot here of actually this morning. And, I got pretty close to that. I got pretty close to 2 hours of REM, pretty close to 2 hours of deep. I was a little light on the light. But if you're going to be a little light on anything, that's the one to be light on.
Yeah, because that's nothing really happens there. It's just moving from REM into deep and then back, right?
Yeah.
That is so fascinating.
So let's, people are wondering, well, how do I get numbers like that? How do I improve the quality of my sleep? Because statistics show that over 80 million people, Cheryl, have sleep disorder.
Wow, that is so many. But you know what? When we start talking about the things that you have to do to have great sleep, then it's going to become very apparent why there's 80 million people with sleep problems. Because this is not for the faint of heart. There's some things you have to do, and you've got to be, committed to, hey, I've got to get good sleep because I've got to get up tomorrow morning and start my day off right and have a fantastic morning. And so it really is true that a great morning starts the night before.
Yeah,
which is so
absolutely.
fascinating to me.
Absolutely. So Cheryl, let's burn through these 15. We have 15 tips. Like, this is all free information.
Okay.
But this is from years and years of research that Cheryl and I have done, and really doing it ourselves to learn from this, and tweaking things along the way. So it took me 15 years to put all this together. So it's been a long study, and I had again.
And I just automatically do it. So it wasn't, this just
Cheryl's more like,
naturally
just
to me.
gets right into it.
No, I'm kidding. But the first one, let's start out and let's go through these. So the first one is exercise in the morning or afternoon. Don't exercise at night, because it really raises your core body temperature, and then it's much harder for you to get a good night's sleep. So we want to exercise in the morning or in the afternoon.
Absolutely. Number 2.
Take the 90 essential nutrients.
Yep, you got to get
important.
2 of those essential nutrients are calcium, magnesium, which really help with sleep. And we can actually take those before bed, but you want to take the other 88 during the day, because they can give you some energy with the B vitamins and things in them.
You bet.
So if you are working with a certified holistic health coach, get back with them to get these 90 essential nutrients. If not, go to elevateyourlife.com, connect with me or Cheryl, and we will help you get those into your life.
Now, number 3 is what Paul is doing. Paul is blocking junk light.
Yes.
That's super important to do during the day so you can wear those nifty glasses he has on.
Yeah. So it's like hunter glasses. Everything's yellow in my life now, which I love yellow. And so these glasses are super cool. So they're scientifically designed to allow the right amount of blue light in to keep you alert during the day, but block out enough of the blue light so that there's no eye strain. And bad eyes is another thing that's just running rampant, I think, in the world today. We have a great product. If you're having some eye issues, called Occutive, get a hold of us and we'll get information on that. But so many people are, especially now after COVID, everyone's on their computers. We're doing Zoom all day. There's so much of that blue light coming in, causing massive damage to our eyes all day long.
Ah! Oh my gosh. Okay. Super important. Get the glasses. All right. Number 4 is stop eating 3 hours before bedtime. So I think this I never feel good if I eat late at night, ever. No. And I really don't.
But when do most people eat, Cheryl?
8 o'clock. 7
all night long. They sit down for TV at 9. Let's get the chips out at 9, and then it's a feast from 9 to 11.
Yes, so please get the chips out at 5, 6. Paul's gonna kill me.
Exactly
another thing is to keep it keto. It really is important to get good sleep, to have the perfect amount of fat and protein, and just not carbs. Carbs are, it's just not good. The sugar,
and you don't want to have that heavy meal either carrying you over. I mean, I was talking to Cheryl before this podcast. I drink a shake every night for dinner because it's
so
great
good.
Fat. It's a specific keto shake. Again, contact us. We'll get you some information on it. But it's exact amount of fat that I need, exact amount of protein that I need to put me in the right place so that I can get into this deep sleep and have this high REM sleep.
I love it, Paul. Okay, now we're going to talk about something that Paul is going to show you, because stop it. Now, this is just unbelievable. Okay, now this is true dark glasses you need to wear in the evening. Oh my gosh.
I think I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger with this on.
If I saw someone walking at me in the middle of my house with that on, I would scream, I would run, something. I mean, this looks like Halloween, Paul.
It is. And so how it looks to you is nothing compared to how you look to me now. Because it is.
Oh, really?
So during the movie Terminator, they have scenes where you're looking through his eyes.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what this looks like. It's all computerized, and it's so weird looking.
It reminds me of I think it would be like the red light district over there in Amsterdam.
I wouldn't know anything about that, Cheryl. So.
Well, no, I was over there, and that's what it's called. And so that's just because you're like, everything's red. And I'm like, yes, well, wonderful. But that's hilarious. Do you have a costume you wear with that, Paul?
I do, but that's more on the private side.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get on to number 6. Okay. So number 6, no phone, computer, or TV 2 hours before you go to bed. Okay. And here's what I see people doing. They're like, oh, okay, Cheryl. And I'm like, okay, well, what time did you go to bed last night? Because I've told them no to, nothing. And they said, well, I had to stay up until 2 o'clock because I was watching something until midnight. I'm like, no, that's not what we're saying. Don't do that. You have to turn it off. Your bedtime is a certain time. We're going to talk about this in a minute, but it's super important to go to the bed the same time every night, right? So you have to have, my bedtime is, I know Paul's is 10 o'clock. Mine is 10 o'clock unless I have kids stuff, tennis, a tennis match. If I have,
which is every night.
Yeah. Well,
we're texting at 10:45 last night. So
there's a lot of stuff that can happen.
There's a goal. It's good to have goals.
It is good to have goals. But just make sure that you are turning everything off 2 hours before that, which is really interesting, Paul, because most people like to fall asleep to the TV or to their iPad. You like to watch something, and then you're watching a show right up to the very last minute, 5 minutes before, and then you're like, whoa, time to go to bed. Okay, well, I'm going to hurry so that I get my 8 hours. So off you run, and you have 5 minutes ago, you're watching TV. So
Now, if you have an iPhone, there's something called Nightshade on your iPhone. It goes on
Oh,
automatically at a set time, whatever you want to set it
it
at. So mine
sure
goes on at 8
does.
p.m. every night.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but you know, if you're wearing the glasses, the darkening glasses and the true dark glasses, and you got the nightshade on, you got to send a text or something, it's fine, but you can't be playing video games and stuff on that.
Oh my gosh, Paul, you're cracking me up. Okay, so there's a lot. So guess what else? Let's take a hot bath.
Let's hop in the tub.
Dead sea salts. There's nothing wrong with that. That
Listen,
sounds
I got
great.
the diffuser going. I got the hot
Yeah.
bath, the
Tell us about your
magnesium.
diffuser, Paul, the essential oil diffuser.
Yeah, but the Dead Sea salt contains magnesium, which is the key again to helping you relax. So nothing better than soaking in some magnesium before you go to bed.
Ooh, that's a great idea. Okay, well, what do you use in your oil, in your essential oil diffuser?
Michelle, I feel like I should be charging like thousands of dollars for this recipe because it took me a long time to figure this out. But
Okay, well, just leave like 2 of them out.
so again, Cheryl and I, we really believe in high quality things. We're not, we live 5-star everything, you know, it's got to be the best of the best. So we research the best essential oils out there. We have a exclusive contract with the company that allows us to get the highest quality essential oils to you. So get a hold of us, get a hold of a holistic health coach, and they'll help you get them. But we use an essential oil blend that's got lavender and chamomile mixed together.
Yeah.
It's amazing, amazing for sleep. You put a couple drops of that in with the cedar wood, some ylang-ylang, some marjoram, a couple drops of marjoram, and the last one, wait for it, clary sage. Put those 5 together. I do 2 drops of each in a diffuser, and you will be unconscious from just the aroma of that is amazing what it does to your brain and just helps you relax tremendously. The marjoram alone, if you have anybody in your room that's like snoring, having a tough time breathing, so marjoram is the best essential oil for that, to help relax everything so that's not occurring.
That is so awesome. Okay, so essential oils. Next, we're going to move right on to the HGH Youth Complex. Now, this is unbelievable. Again, you can get it from from a certified holistic health coach. If you're not working with one, you can contact Paul or myself, and we will get you this. And Paul, I'm telling you, this right here is something that has changed my life, because when I take it, well, no, I'll tell you this. This is really true. When I take it, I don't have to sleep 9 hours. I wake up on my own before my alarm, and I feel completely rejuvenated. Now, why is that?
Well, I just want to let the audience know that whatever you say, you mean. Like, you are a freak about this. I remember you were in Europe and you called me. I'm like, Cheryl, I thought you were in Europe. Oh, I am. But I don't have my HGH with me. Can you get me some?
Somebody has to send it to me. Oh my gosh. That was crazy.
I don't know if you were in Rome or wherever you were, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll just overnight it to you and get that right out to you.
Hey, I got it though, didn't I?
You did. You're resourceful.
Yeah.
So this is amazing. So there's this substance in our bodies that we produce called HGH, human growth hormone, that really helps our bodies recover, you know, and you feel amazing. It's really, they call it the fountain of youth. So 6 of these capsules helps your body naturally produce more growth hormone while you're sleeping, which puts you into the deeper sleep. And when you wake up, you just feel like a rock star.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, let's see. Oh, keep your bedroom cold. Stop it. My bedroom's always cold. I love a cold bedroom. You say 65, I love it at 62. So
you always got to go a little low with the cold plunge, temperature, whatever it is, show. You always got to go a little bit, elevate a little bit more.
Listen, I'm just saying, I like it a little bit more.
Did you hear Brian? He said that, because we're working with Brian Johnson on this sleep thing. And he said, 65 is a little cold for me. So he had to go up to 67. I'm like, wimp. I mean, I was all over him. So now I know how you feel about me, Cheryl, when I can't do the cold plunge any lower than 50.
Yeah, well, that's just ridiculous, Paul. You can't. You just
What kind of Marine are you?
Yeah, you just don't want to. You just don't want to. Okay, so keep your bedroom cold. And here's another great one that we do that I absolutely love. I'm really obsessed with this, but to make sure that your bedroom is completely dark when you go to sleep. And if it isn't, because a lot of times there's lights and everything else, we talked a little bit about this earlier, but it's so crazy that your skin can sense light.
Yeah.
It's like it can see light, it can see anything that's on, even when your eyes are closed. So you put a mask on so
Yeah.
that you can't see anything. No, your skin can see it. So you have to make sure that it is super dark in your bedroom. And I like to do that with blackout curtains.
I left my mask upstairs, but
Oh no, you're
yeah, I have a
okay.
mask too. Yeah. So I didn't know this at first. So I have these like little, I have these fancy lights in my house that you turn on night. It's called night light from Hue. And it's extremely dim, but you can still see enough to go up and go to the bathroom or something during the night. But I didn't, after listening to this and hearing these studies, you're right, Cheryl, it has to be completely black. So I've gone
Yeah.
to these, not only completely black, but actually wearing a mask at night to make sure that there's nothing going on as far as light goes. And
Yeah.
it's made a huge difference. Now, if you do need some light in the evening or before bed, we put a link there about getting one of these red lights to put in your bedroom. So that would be okay to look at during the evening.
Yeah. So the red lights, also some other cool things to add to that red light is also infrared blankets, which helps with increased circulation, lymphatic flow, muscle recovery, pain reduction, helps you relax, and it's just and it's just really good to have restful sleep. And then also something that I really like too is the weighted blanket.
Yeah, I love that. So we have links to all that in here. All great things that will just help you elevate your sleep. Next thing is going to bed at the same time every day, getting this rhythm going in your body. And
well, you have a rhythm going, but it's real your circadian rhythm, but it's really just making sure that you're listening to that and doing what you need to do to keep that continually going on the same way every single day.
Yeah. Yep. So going to bed at the same time every day, and more importantly, getting up at the same time every day. The studies on that are really impressive. That is, your bedtime may vary a little bit here and there. Sometimes Cheryl and I go to bed really early because we're exhausted.
Yeah.
But we keep that, I do, what do you do? 4:30 now, Cheryl, you getting up at?
Yeah.
4:30. Yeah. So, it's very consistent with that. So that's going to help you stay in rhythm. And
I love the last one, Paul. I love,
yeah, it's one I didn't know about, but it's maybe I heard it's the biggest one, which is to wake up and look at bright light. So, if your spouse puts a light on, you're like, turn the light off. It's like too bright, because I'm trying to sleep here.
Yeah.
But what you want to do is wake up and turn every light in your house on. I mean, just get a house as bright as you possibly can. I've actually bought special bulbs that mimic daylight, so that as soon as I get up at 5 a.m., these super bright lights are all on during the house.
Well,
and I'm getting that in.
What does it do, Paul? Why is that? It's because it stops your body from making melatonin.
The whole thing is melatonin. Yep.
Melatonin. Okay.
So we gotta turn the melatonin machine off when we wake up.
Yeah.
So we feel, because melatonin is going to make you feel sleepy.
Right.
Part of the reason why people feel sleepy all day is because they're always in, dark situations, and there's not enough light coming in. That's why the lighting in your office is so important to have that correct, because otherwise you're just not going to be optimizing your melatonin. But then you want in the evening, that's why you wear the dark glasses, the true dark glasses, is to signal to your brain that, hey, it's nighttime. And you need to start producing this melatonin now at 8 p.m. So I get my melatonin machine on by putting those glasses on at 8 p.m. I got a couple hours to build up. And that's what really allows me to get into that super deep sleep for 2 hours. Some nights I get 2.5 hours. I mean, and I wasn't always like that. I mean, I was lucky if I got an hour. Most people average like a half an hour a night. It's the average, I think.
Oh.
So I'm most nights I'm pulling 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
but it takes doing these 15 steps to get to a place like that.
Yeah. You have
And,
to be committed.
you look at these 15 things, you're like, man, I'll spend a whole rest of my life working on these 15 things. It's a process, but
Yeah, I'm going to wake up and start working on my nighttime regimen.
start working on going to sleep.
But it's
But
not really that hard. It's not
no, they're
really
quick
that
and easy.
hard.
Yeah, don't look at them as being hard.
Yeah. And the weird thing is I think the hardest thing for people, honestly, Paul, is that you have to stop watching TV, looking at your phone, watching your iPad, 2 hours before you go to sleep.
Yeah, that's the
I
key.
try my hardest.
Yeah, that's the key. So to end up this podcast, we always like to do a +1. So the +1 is to elevate your life. You must elevate your sleep.
And as you elevate your sleep, you will move from fine to fabulous.
Absolutely. All right. Hopefully everybody got some value out of this, and we'll see you on Leadership Thursday.